Hey Zingers, it's Dan Leach, and I have a wonderful guest for you today. It is the community manager for BTCC Exchange, Jeremy. Jeremy, so great to be with you, my man.
Hey Dan, nice to meet you, and thanks for having me.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. Let's lead off here and give the great people out there an overview of BTCC Exchange.
Sure. BTCC Exchange, we've been here since 2011, so that's actually quite a while ago. We have been here for 14 years, and that is when, say, Bitcoin was still I'd say a Starbucks coffee's worth. And that's pretty hard to imagine, right? Like right
Right.
now, it's way above the Starbucks coffee. And we've survived for 4 crypto winters. So that's actually quite impressive. We definitely have a lot more strength and focus a lot more on the perpetuals slash futures trading side of the business. And that's one of our main, say, topics, one of our main points that we always try to promote. And last but not least, we've been here for 14 years with no security breaches and no insolvency issues. So we're probably one of the best exchanges out there to boast our security record. So hope that gives a bit of context for what BTCC is. And yeah, back to you, Dan.
No, it sure does, and especially as you mentioned, the 4 crypto winners and all the issues that people have had security. The fact that you guys are still alive and kicking in a high way is pretty impressive. And as you alluded to, I know BTCC, definitely one of the world's longest serving cryptocurrency exchanges. You mentioned it turning 14 this month.
Yep.
Jeremy, what is your superpower? What has enabled BTCC to thrive in an environment, as you talked about as well, marred by bankruptcies, closures, security issues? What is the superpower, my man?
Yeah. So I understand we have quite an impressive track record on that note. And I'd say for the 14 years, we have provided one of the top securities that we try to promote, right? So we understand that there's a lot of past experiences where a lot of exchanges, they fail to provide the most core element of the exchange, right? People want to deposit onto exchanges, they want to trade on exchanges for the ease of access, right? Crypto is hard to understand for a lot of people. And having it a very dumbed down version of trading is very attractive for a lot of crypto users. And on that note, a lot of exchanges, they really fail to capture that the user experience as well as the security is one of the most important things that we want to promote. And I think a lot of other exchanges should also focus on, right? So yeah, definitely. And for a lot of our features, we have tried to really refine and to carefully manage these features to ensure that security is the top thing, right? Understand we might not have all the features that all other exchanges provide, but what we have is battle tested and trial and error for all of our features. So nothing is going out of the line where, oh, this new feature that we're trying to rush out is going to have some security issues or security concerns. No, we have none of that, right? We always try to make sure that everything is tested, everything is secure before we push everything out, and that users have the best experience right off the bat.
Well, it's amazing, and that's obviously why you guys have been so successful and lasted this long. And like we said, 14 years is no joke, and you're celebrating your 14th year in
Indeed.
operation. Tell us, Jeremy, about that 14 years of momentum badge, and will users be able to unlock any more perks by following BTCC on X?
Yes.
I want some perks.
Not just following, right? There's a lot to this events that we're happening, right? So for this 14-year anniversary, just a bit, rewind of what happened since the start of June. We have had a trading competition that we ran purely on X slash Twitter. I'll keep using X over the course of our conversation. But on X, we invited 2 guests, Joey Moose and Greeny Trades, both on X. They are some well-known individuals in the crypto space. Also co-hosted by Whale Swoosh. Probably leave the links if you're ever interested about what happened. But it was a trading competition between Moose and Greeny to try out the platform. It's their first time trying out the platform. It was also Moose's first time trading futures / leverage trading. And that was interesting because Greeny has been a very experienced leverage trader versus a really inexperienced and first time trader, Moose. So they did have a competition. It ran for a week and it actually concluded just yesterday with Greeny coming out they started off with 5,000. So Greeny came off with nearly 5,000. He ran it back on the last day, and Moose was unfortunately down half of his portfolio. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was the first part of our 14-year celebration. And the second part is what you just mentioned. We have a new reward system that we're introducing on BTCC, right? The badge system is our new form of rewarding users who would love to interact with us, who'd love to join us and use the platform frequently. We are introducing our first badge. That would be the 14-year anniversary Momentum badge. And in the future, there will be a lot more badges to come. Like say, just as an example, right? Christmas, we might have a Christmas badge, right? Just any sort of events, any sort of holidays, we'd love to push on more badges. And these badges come with, first off, an immediate reward, right? You're always going to be rewarded for anything you work with us. And we'd love to give back to our community. So that's the first thing. It always comes with a reward. But on top of that, we have a lot of more features planned for BTCC on a lot more community sided. Okay. It's slowly going to become, okay. It's not immediate, it's slowly going to become a staple in our core ecosystem where we're trying to promote more sociable aspects, not just the social side, right? Sociable aspects where we want to make sure that we're implementing, first off, AI in our platform. I understand there's a lot more AI stuff that a lot of other exchanges are working on already. And we'd love to have more community-based AI features where it's giving actual market insights as well as personal insights on trading. So that's a little teaser for you guys.
Because I don't think we
for sure.
And Jeremy, the community aspect thing is obviously such an important part too. So it's really cool that you're doing it. And I love that you guys have that trading contest too. I wanted to talk to you about this. First quarter trading volume, I know, reached a just ridiculous $815 billion with a 71% surge in futures trading. What is behind that incredible growth? And are you seeing more of the same in this current quarter?
There is so much volatility in the market, right? We see just within this year, right? Bitcoin breaking all-time high. We see a lot of new products, a lot of new projects, so on and so forth, right? Just plenty of market volatility, plenty of people trading and trying to capture these opportunities. That's the main thing on a lot of this growth, right? I'm sure we're not the only exchange out there or not the only project out there that's growing and having a lot more trading volume on top of that. But just to take a step back, right? Just to take a step back, how we sort of got to here was with everyone in BTCC and willing to support us along the way, right? We are looking for a lot more in the future. So we're not just saying, hey, we can support you in this volatile market, but when it's down, we're also here for you, right? And the community is always here to support. Our team is always here to support all our users and to make this community grow and to ensure that everyone has a place to trade crypto. I think that's very important, right? A lot of different projects come and go, a lot of trends come and go, but we're always here to support all our traders We're always here to support anyone who would love to try out trading in general, right? And I think that's the main point where we're looking for a huge amount of growth in the coming years. I can say this, right? Because we've been here for 14 years. So I can say this. I can assure you that we're here for a lot more years. It's just that the main idea is, are you here with us for a lot more years?
Hey, listen, it's BTCC for life, Jeremy. That's the way to do it.
Indeed, indeed.
Jeremy, are you seeing any difficulties when you're trying to onboard new users onto BTCC?
Mm.
Are you dealing with any of that?
Yeah. I think that's one of the pain points where we've been here for so long, but it's like everyone in crypto is always chasing for the new thing, right? They're always chasing for the new trend. They just say, hey, there's this new project. I got to chase this. And once that sort of quote unquote dies down, they go on to the next. They try to find the next big opportunity. Obviously, there's no issues with that. It's just that there's so much that happens in crypto. A year is like, such a long time.
Right.
We've been here for 14 years. And we are always trying to make sure that we have the best onboarding experience where you're not just coming in here for a trend. You're not just coming in here for 1 or 2 trades. You're here for a longer time, and you're here for us for as long as you want to use BTCC, right? So the first part I want to cover is that I feel like there's a lot more scams that is way more sophisticated nowadays, especially where we want you to put money in us and then they sort of manipulate you and say, hey, this money, you can stay with us. It's very safe. You get to withdraw. You get to whatever, right? That's the sort of scam that's always scammers are trying to work around and make it more hard for you to feel like it's a scam. So the first part, we're always trying to make sure that we can separate ourselves away from all the scams. So on that note, we have our X, so our Twitter, as I mentioned earlier. X is our only handle. BTCC Exchange is our only handle, right? We're always there, basically 24/7. I also help out on the account. So if you ever want to reach out for verification, we're always there for you, right?
That's awesome.
If you need a gateway for messaging us or to collaborate with us, anything, X is always there for you as a first, say, entry to reaching out to us, right? So you're never going to get scammed with us because you can always get back to us and we will always get back to you, right? And on the other hand, there's always these support issues, right? I think new users are always very, like, they struggle a lot, right? They struggle a lot with support because they feel like, oh, support is only there for these model answers. They have a set amount of, say, oh, if they ask you this question, you got to answer that question with this answer. It's very boring kind of job, and people feel like support is always that, right? That's just how it is, and we don't want to provide that, right? We don't want to be stereotypical, and we always want to step up our game to provide the best support for people who needs the support, right? So first off, our support team is always there for you on the website and is always there for you on the Discord server. So there's always 2 places where you can contact our support, and they're always there for you to help. We've recently even helped out an error. So just an example, right? On Discord, someone was putting out a bunch of messages and being like, oh, there's like an error I encountered and I need help from BTCC support. Literally the next morning, I checked his message. He was like, thank you so much for BTCC support for getting back to me. And I got this issue resolved, blah, blah, blah. He literally like 180 just throughout the night. So we're always there for you on the support. And I hope these 2 main points will help, the onboarding of new users make us more unique compared to other places, right? Because we're always there for you.
Oh no, it's and not just about being unique, but you obviously you're making people feel very safe, as you mentioned, with a lot of
Indeed.
different scams going on and security stuff. And I wanted to ask you this before I let you go about. I know you added some great user protections during the first quarter, which is another way you guys are helping people feel safe about what's going on at BTCC.
Yeah, so I think for our first quarter, oh well, not just our first quarter, right? We've always been trying to improve the security side over the years, right? We see so many. I'm probably repeating myself here, but we've been here for 14 years. We've seen so much, quote unquote, failed experiments or failed projects where they had like a hack or a breach, anything along those lines, right? Uh, Probably a prime example would be like FTX, right? Insolvency
Right.
issues. It's not just security, right? Insolvency. They're mismanaging their funds. They're doing a lot of stuff where users just don't know what's happening. So I think the first thing that I like to mention is the proof of reserves. I think that's the main part where um, a lot more exchanges are adapting. We've also adapted it where users are able to look up their proof of reserve and they're going to find out that their assets are safe and it is secured. We're not using it or mismanaging it in any way, and we do offer that on BTCC. That's one of the top things that we introduced this year. And along the way, there's a lot more security, auditing, whatever, that always happens in the back end. There's not much to really explain here, but you can probably feel, right? Along the ways, we've had no past experience where we've got a security breach or any insolvency issues, and we tend to keep it that way, and we also want to keep it that way.
Right.
So, yeah,
Yeah, no one's around 14 years if they're not doing things the right way. Listen, Jeremy, the
indeed,
community
indeed.
manager yeah, it's the truth. Jeremy, the community manager of BTCC Exchange. That was an absolutely fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today, and nothing but the best going forward.
Thank you so much, Dan, and thanks for having me, Benzinga. And happy to be here. And I'd love to talk a bit more about other stuff. But for now, thank you so much, Dan, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Dream is alive. We'll have to do it again soon.